In the mid-90s, the team who created Disney Quest were looking for a new venture. What those Imagineers would create would become a home to many, offering family-friendly fun in a virtual world. A land full of cogs and tunes. This is the story of Toontown Online, an MMORPG that lasted for over 10 years before being suddenly closed and later rewritten.
From Disney Online and the great minds of Walt Disney Imagineering comes the ultimate internet game. This massively multiplayer experience is action-packed with boundless challenges and excitement. For the first time ever, enter the world of Disney and take part in a never-ending cartoon epic. Toontown Online, the ultimate internet game, is only at Disney.com.
In 1992, a new team formed at Disney, the Disney Virtual Reality Studios, or VR Studios for short. Creating virtual reality components for theme park attractions, they would offer experiences such as the Aladdin Mark 1 and 2 at Epcot Center, Disneyland.
Your VR used to fly something that's going to be quite a bit different than an airplane. Imagine that we could let you step into the Disney movie Aladdin, give you your very own magic flying carpet, and let you go flying through the city streets. Does that sound like fun? Yeah.
They would also work on projects that will become known as Disney Quest, where inside guests could experience Aladdin's magic carpet ride and more. As part of Disney's research and development branch, the team would be considered a subdivision of Walt Disney Imagineering. The VR team would conduct research and come up with development projects not just for theme parks, but also video games. By the 1990s, Disney were no stranger to video games. Classics such as DuckTales, Rescue Rangers, Aladdin, and more proved that high quality, but more importantly fun games could be made using the huge library of Disney characters. A new emerging style of video game was becoming increasingly popular: the massively multiplayer online role-playing game, or MMORPG. This term was coined by the creator of Ultima Online. Released in 1997, the internal sales predicted for the games were low. It would use a new type of subscription system to generate revenue and would go on to be the first major hit that was an internet-only game, really pushing games to explore virtual online worlds that would use a monthly subscription to be able to enter. Following this success, many other companies would develop MMORPGs of their own, from EverQuest to Star Wars Galaxies and the huge success later of World of Warcraft. The late 90s had the internet booming in opportunity for companies. A new form of entertainment was becoming the norm. Disney was among the companies trying to make use of this new opportunity that home internet was given. Other than investing in Go.com, the Disney web portal for popular websites such as ESPN and ABC, they would begin selling merchandise online.
Did you get those Rolling Stone concert tickets? And the whole family can go, right? I mean, you can buy tickets online.
I don't know. What do you think, kids?
Yeah! Surf's up! See you on the net!
Disney's VR studio would first look into online games in the mid-90s, the first being codenamed HercWorld, based on the Disney film Hercules. To assist with this, they would work with Electronic Communications, who would help them create virtual worlds with Lucasfilm's Habitat.
Say, I know. You're that guy Lamborghini from Detroit, aren't you?
Oh, the name's Young Turk from Poughkeepsie.
I like that better. Let's blow this joint. What do you say?
Oh, took the words right out of my mouth.
Habitat. It is a universe unlike any other.
This time, Disney would have one requirement that would have to be followed no matter what. The online world they wanted to create would have to be child-friendly, with 0% chance that anyone would be exposed to anything harmful. Many ways were tried to achieve this, but none of them were successful, and HercWorld was eventually abandoned. With Disney Quest now complete, the department was unsure of what the future for them would be, or if they would even continue. Once again, the idea of a family online multiplayer game would become their focus, creating concepts to be pitched to Disney executives in the hope of getting at least one funded. Rather than pitch just one game, they would try and pitch nearly 20 to increase the chances of one of them being actually made. This collection of 20 different MMOs will be known as the Massively Multiplayer Online Theme Park. After months of pitching different ideas, the team decided they would need to build a prototype to begin with any luck. The one they chose was based off the still in production Disney film Atlantis: The Lost Empire, with the concept being known as Atlantis: The Online Empire. The company had high hopes for this upcoming animated movie, and it would nicely fit the idea of exploring an online world. The idea did not last long, as it was deemed not to fit with the 7 to 12-year-olds that Disney Online was attempting to bring in, and was quickly shut down. Instead, the team would go for the second idea they'd created, an MMO based around a world where cartoon characters lived together. This time not only based on a land that had opened at Disneyland in 1993, but also featured in the popular Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Toontown. This new idea gave them much more freedom to create something unique. After a successful pitch, the Toontown MMO project was officially greenlit in the year 2000, with a budget of $5 to $6 million.
Is that the Provence?
Hey, Mom. Can I throw some pies around?
Sure, dear.
Well, I'm gonna spray everything with a fire hose.
I'm gonna drop some pianos in the street.
Of course, have fun.
Welcome to Toontown, where you create your own tune, have to see the evading Cogs, and get to do almost anything. With your parents' permission, you can play online now and get a free trial at Toontown.com.
Mom, Tony's shooting himself out of a cannon.
I know, it's okay.
Toontown, rated E for everyone.
Are you tuned enough?
The first difficult decision the team had to make was what engine to build the game in. Rather than use an engine that had previously been created, they decided it was important to build a brand new engine. It was no easy task to keep an MMO running and constantly updated, and this would also help them future-proof the idea. This new engine would be known as Panda 3D, short for Platform Agnostic Network Display Architecture, a portable 3D engine written in C++ with a Python scripting layer. It was also made open source and used again in games such as Pirates of the Caribbean Online. It also allowed the game to have a unique art style and look. Set in a cartoon world with nods to 1940s Disney cartoons, it would not only feature Mickey, Donald and the gang, but create a brand new world, designed to escape the realities of real life. Rather than the fantasy world of monsters and slaying, the player would be immersed in a bright, cartoon, and just overall fun world for the whole family. Each character would be a toon inspired from the animals of Disney classics, taking many elements from the classic Mickey Mouse cartoons along with the Mickey's Toontown Fair area. The only exception to this art style was the game's antagonists. After entering the game, players could customize their toon in various shapes, colors and sizes, along with choosing different species. The main concept of the game was built around what do toons love? Well, that was nothing more than making others laugh with jokes and gags. These included cream pies and dropping plant pots on enemies' heads. The company found that sword and sorcery themed games attracted a more hardcore gamer market, and instead Toontown would be a happy place, where toons would exist in a colourful world of 6 whimsical neighbourhoods, each of which were themed around a classic Disney character. Not all was wonderful in the world of Toontown. There was of course something to overcome: the Cogs. Evil robotic businessmen who had only one goal: to take over Toontown and replace it with a black and white metropolis covered with gigantic corporate skyscrapers. The Cogs would be split up into 4 different Cog corporate ladders: Sellbot, Cashbot, Lawbot and Bossbots, each with 8 different types, totaling 32 different Cogs ranging from level 1 to 12. The Cogs were chosen as the enemy as one that both children and adults could enjoy. Before they were chosen, the enemy was planned to be everything kids hated, such as evil school teachers, dentists, and more. But the notion of an evil corporation seemed to be the strongest. Originally they were not robots at all, but named the Suits. This was seen by Disney as being disrespectful to the great businessmen who had created the Disney company. The VR team were told to either change the suits or have the game cancelled.
The Cogs are back! Join forces with friends to save Toontown! Play it for free now and really get stuck into the action! Or would you rather be doing something else? Couldn't think so. Jump online and straight into Toontown, where the city limits are as wide as your imagination!
Instead, evil corporate robots were born. Robots were considered much less violent to destroy. The in-game Cogs story was the result of an invention by Gyro Gearloose. One day, Scrooge McDuck visited his lab while he was out. Scrooge spotted a robot contraption and thought it would help him make a load of money, and decided to activate it. The robot went haywire and started a machine that created more robots, or Cogs. Scrooge was captured by the robots and Toontown was now in peril. Only one team could stop them from taking over: the Toons. This intro story was only actually known as it was originally included in a flash animation during the game's download and later removed. Most of the story was left to the player. Originally, an end to the game was designed with a final boss, but this was also removed as it did not work well with the ongoing game. Throughout the game, the Cogs would attack the player Toon, making their laugh meter go down and making them sad. Each Cog featured a name based off business terms, such as eviction notice. To stop the evil Cogs, players would battle them in turn-based combat. Rather than attacking them though, the Toons would attempt to make them laugh by using those gags. A huge amount of gags had to be chosen from to be included in the game. The combat was quite strategic and fun, for both children and adults. Every gag could be leveled up to become stronger, and the combat system took a long time to create and balance. There was much more to Toontown than just fighting Cogs though. Toontown featured a task system for Toons to select a variety of different quests, or tasks. While there was a huge amount of tasks, each player would only receive a select few, making it fun to create new Toons. These tasks included things like defeating a specific Cog, a certain amount of Cogs, going fishing for items, taking over Cog buildings, and more. As you progress through the game, each became more and more difficult, but it did help prevent straight grinding for new gags. Other rewards included being able to hold more gags, larger jelly bean jars, the currency of the game, increased health, and teleportation. Each gag would only cost one jelly bean, providing a simple but effective economy. There was no trade-in, and everything would have a fixed cost. As with the earlier ideas for an online game suitable for children, the safety of players was paramount. This was done to appeal to a broader market and protect the Disney brand name, as well as get the game in line with copper policies. In the game, children would literally be meeting thousands of strangers online, so to make this safe, the solution was found in Speed Chat. This system allowed players to chat with their friends, but only by selected from various categories of pre-written dialogue, such as hello or let's go. This removed the use of any inappropriate words completely. To avoid friends having difficulty chatting, they also came up with the idea of secret friend codes. This code could be given to real-life friends, allowing you to chat unrestricted to them and only them. If parents didn't approve, they could turn the feature off, and all chat was still actively monitored. Speed Chat had worked, and it was found to help shy players find a footing in the world, and also not allow players to divulge personal details.
Burns. Here. Clark. Here. Fuller. Here. Nelson. Nelson.
Here.
Toontown, the outrageous online game where you can create your own toon and do almost anything. With your parents' permission, get 3 days of free play at Toontown.com. Toontown, are you toon enough?
The same system was also used in choosing a name for your toon. Here you could either choose from 2 pre-selected words or type a name. Every single name had to be approved by support staff and would take a few days. Like most MMORPGs, the game relied on teamwork, early on pushing you towards working together to achieve goals. Many players created friendships within the game while easily grouping up to defeat Cogs. To take over buildings, groups of 4 would be required. Minigames meant working or playing together to encourage social interactions. The only place Cog-free would be the playgrounds, where Toons could regain lost laugh points. You could also fish, ride the trolley, or just chat. Everything in the game was designed to interact with each other and promote this team play. By the time the game was in beta, in the early 2000s, a large community began to form around the game. Fan sites began to pop up for players to meet, interact, and even form clans, a staple of earlier MMOs. Toontown was officially on its way to becoming a successful online game with an invested fanbase. After 8 months of testing and tweaking, the game would officially launch on June 2nd, 2003 on Windows computers. The game would take a few minutes to download over a broadband or DSL line. For those still with dial-up, it would take quite a bit longer. TV commercials began to air all over to promote Toontown, and it also appeared at E3. To be able to play, a subscription was required of $9.95 per month after a 3-day trial period. Toontown was an instant success, earning multiple awards and rapidly growing with servers around the world. Many media outlets stated Disney at least deserved credit for trying to create an online game that involved more than slaying medieval trolls. Not only did children love the game, but adults did too. Many described it as simple, but not stupid. In fact, it was very much a traditional RPG with the leveling up aspect, collecting and turn-based combat. Disney estimated it would take 200 to 400 hours of playtime to overcome every possible Cog opponent. Adults would sign up for their children, but see the fun gameplay and want to jump in. Subscriptions would begin to grow, and families would be playing together. Exactly what the game had set out to achieve. Toontown had all the addictive staples of a good MMORPG. Just this time, one the whole family could enjoy. The VR team had used all the design principles of creating theme park attractions to appeal to everyone and transferred them into an online game. A huge community was created around Toontown, sharing content, tips, in-game tracking, and more. Real-life newsletters and trading cards were launched. The game was a success. The game continued to be updated with new features: fishing, toon housing, pets, and the largest update featuring the Cog HQ with a brand new storyline. Disney continued to keep the game fresh for those who had completed the original content. The popularity of Toontown continued to grow for the next 2 years, so much so that it spawned an official real-life gathering known as Toonfest. More than 15 million toons have been created since the game had launched 3 years earlier. This first event was held at the Burbank Disney Studios and sold out quickly. The event was filled with Toontown decorations that brought the online-only world to life. The event featured real-life Toon tasks and the developers sat in for Q&As. The second Toonfest was held in 2007, this time at Walt Disney World in Fantasia Gardens. Once again, it sold out quickly. Toontown would continue to grow, but updates would start to slow down. The game, however, kept a strong player base throughout. For over 10 years, the Cogs and Toons would battle and different generations would come to love their time in Toontown.
Disney is shuttering Toontown on September 19th.
No! How could they?
Toontown? That's exactly how Charlie feels, Nick.
Brother, why are you so sad?
As you can see here, Charlie is not happy about Toontown going away. So his dad, Chris, set the camera to rolling and he told Charlie to make his appeal to Disney.
Please keep Toontown. It's really fun.
Toontown has been around for 10 years.
After 10 years of operation, Toontown Online was officially announced to be shutting down permanently on September 19th, 2013. The announcement was concurrent with the closure announcements of both Pirates of the Caribbean Online and Pixie Hollow as well. Subscriptions were ended and each player was given time to enjoy what remained of the game. No further accounts could be created. The unofficial reason was due to budget cuts and changes in management at Disney Online. Players who enjoyed Toontown were encouraged to check out other titles such as Club Penguin. Disney had chosen to redirect all their Disney Online resources to their acquisition of Club Penguin. Yes, it's okay. We can all blame Club Penguin for Toontown's ending. Thousands had signed a petition to get Disney to change its mind, but it did not help. The game's final official day came, and the servers closed for good. This, though, isn't a sad story of a long-lost game, but one of hope. The very same day the official Toontown closed, a new version was born, Toontown Rewritten. Toontown Rewritten announced that for the past month, since the announcement of the closure, a band of players known as the Toontown Rewritten team had been working to keep Toontown alive. By the end of October, Toontown Rewritten was online and in alpha, picking up exactly where the official game ended. The original server architecture was reverse engineered to restore Toontown in all its original glory. Not only did Toontown return, but it featured limited time events, an expanded story, and new features which allow players to continue to enjoy the world of Toontown. This completely free-to-play, rewritten version of the game still runs today, continuing to have a vibrant community and enjoyed by millions, preserving the fun and family-friendly experience of the past for brand new audiences. They even continued the real-world meetups of Toonfest. I encourage you to check out Toontown Rewritten for yourself and experience the magic of the original game.
We launched Toontown Online in October of 2002. It really was an experiment for us in a lot of ways to see if we could take some of the basic gaming principles of massively multiplayer online role-playing games and make them broadly accessible to kids and families. A lot of what we were trying to do was take some of the same principles that Walt Disney had brought to his notion of Disneyland as a new kind of theme park, where there was things for both kids and parents to do and do them together. That's what Toontown was about, and it has gone beyond our wildest dreams.
Toontown was an important part of many players' childhoods, and luckily an experience that can still be enjoyed today. As the first MMORPG designed for children 7 and older, along with their families, the game broke the mold of fantasy MMORPGs. It was a game loved by the community that offered family-friendly fun that anyone could enjoy. A place for everyone, children and adults. From the office-based laughs of the Cogs to collecting different gags, Toontown Online was a game that just got it right, and just like the best MMORPGs, left a lasting impression on the hearts of the fans who even to this day continue to call it home.
Are you tuning us?
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Expedition Virtual Theme Park. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe to join the expedition. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram for updates on upcoming episodes, and a special thank you to our Patreons for supporting the channel. We will see you next time.